Hello, projectors. Charlie here, and I'm here with Sarah Lemmerman. And we're excited to share a little bit about what we've been up to the last few months, and then what we're excited to bring back experientially through the projector movement, and how we can share from an embodied place how to be an aligned projector. So, welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Although you introduced me as Sarah Lemmerman.
That's true. That is true. So Sarah's name's actually changed. That's actually a great point. I'm sure this happens to some guys here and there, when it's within the first couple of months. But that's a good little lead in. In April 15th this year, 2023 was a very special day for 135 splenic projector over here and the other 5-1 splenic projector over there, being Sarah. We got married.
Yay.
And we've been together for a few years, and we've weaved our essences throughout the projector movement, and projector movement's been going now for almost 5 years. And so April was a big month for us here in California. Sarah's from Long Beach, California, and I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and we live in California now. And then we took over 2 months to go and explore the world. So I'll give it over to you, Sarah, maybe if you want to share a little bit about April or May or June or...
Yeah. Well, first I want to say...
So it's actually Sarah McGuinness.
Sarah Lemmerman McGuinness. First I want to just welcome everybody listening and watching. It feels so nice to be back after such a initiation, really, that Charlie and I have chosen to walk through, an initiation of marriage and also a celebration of our union with time in Charlie's hometown, Australia. We got to go and I got to meet more of his extended family. Charlie got to see his friends that he hadn't seen in 4 years and get to really enjoy the land there. And then we ventured from there to Bali, a big part of Charlie's life, as many of you know, where the projector movement was manifested, was in Bali, and I had never been, and we got to explore a whole nother culture and tradition, and take some time to rest. Planning a wedding is not a projector friendly event. We've learned a lot, and now we're here with many inspirations that have come through while we were communing with the land and the culture and the people of Australia and Bali, and are really excited to share with you all that is new within our world and what we've received about projectors.
Totally. We saw some different healers along the way on our journey. We saw some different fortune tellers, coffee cup reader, which is quite special. I don't know if people know about what a coffee cup reader is, but you set your intention in prayer, and there's coffee in the bottom of the cup, and you spin it over and you look at it, and she reads the symbols within the coffee cup. And I was told about this from a friend who had actually never had a girlfriend before. And she said in a few weeks, you're going to meet this person. And he showed me a photo, and there was this woman with a dress somehow imprinted in the coffee, and he met his current girlfriend. And they've been together for about a year. I was like, Sarah, I think we have to go see this coffee cup reader. So we did, and there was some fascinating revelations, and multiple things have already happened.
Yeah.
We're in a beautiful time in our lives, a lot of growth, always challenge at times, because I feel like challenge does bring growth and stretches us. And then, yes, I went back to Australia, and we went there, and Sarah met my family, and Then we went to Bali, and we're in Bali for about 6 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent half our time in Ubud and then the second half in Uluwatu at a beautiful hotel, the Asamaya. And there we really got to just slow down. There was a cold plunge, there was a hot plunge, there was the infrared sauna, a gym. Normally there was about 7 or 8 guests and there was about 40 or 50 staff. So it was quite held for our projector energy.
Mm.
And we got to really let go and relax. And in that space, as often happens with being a projector, is when we slow down, we open ourselves up to receive so much. And this is what happened, and a lot came through, and we're excited to touch on a few of those things now. And yeah, if you're a projector and you're listening to this, know that when you do truly slow down, I've got multiple stories that when I've genuinely slowed down, what I've received in that moment has, this is the wrong word. Like I was going to say quantum leap, but it's like I couldn't have come up with that myself, and it would have taken years to try and figure out how to do that and this. But it's like, something that was completely not even seen or I didn't even think was in my reality or possible has come in and directed me in a profound new path. But it's always in these moments of slowing down. And one of those examples was birthing the projector movement. I was literally on a beach for 5 days with my best friend in Bali, and we were literally slowing down, and I had a dream, and that slowing down is obviously still coming through 5 years on. So, and I'm sure, Sarah, I know recently you're spending a bit of time in the desert here in California, which is a hot time of year. So it's having you slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that Charlie and I are also embarking on as a journey, as Charlie's the 3, so he goes full on, is, we are married, but we still really honor our projector essence. And that right at this stage, based on where we have land and such, we spend time not living in the same space or taking time apart. And right now, Charlie's in Long Beach and I'm out here in the desert where it is 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And I am really out here with not a lot of people, which for my makeup, my preferred environment is valleys. There's stillness. The sun causes me to slow down, and I really am able to come back to myself in a good way. And I know Charlie being near the ocean right now and having space to just come back to himself after just such a whirlwind is a really beautiful gift that we give each other in this connection, understanding of we're not designed to fit a mold of cultural relationships in this specific culture of living together all the time and doing everything together. So yeah, I'm out here respecting the sun.
deep reverence.
Deep reverence of the stillness and the power of summertime in the desert.
Yeah, and I want to honor what you just put words to, us having the ability to take time to build that relationship to ourselves while also building the relationship with each other and then others and then the world. And yeah, I deeply honor you and the time that you're spending building that relationship to yourself, and also deeply honor the space that you're, giving me to do the same. And I feel like it's a real gift that we give ourselves first and foremost, and then give each other. And a real peace and softness and openness comes from that. And I feel love is an opening and an offering, and love, even though we are monogamous, I was about to say love is freedom. Well, love is, relationships are not totally free in that way, But love, the energy of love is a giving essence of freedom, of openness. And for us to hold that and give that to ourselves and each other is really special.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that gives us a beautiful foundation to create something really special from.
Yeah, and I'll just wrap that kind of back up with what you were saying about, when we were in Bali, or just for projectors when we're alone and we receive, in that stillness, that, me being a projector myself, I need my own environment to receive what's coming through for me. And you need that space and time, because what wants to come through us is oftentimes connected and also very separate and unique. And relationships are a big, topic within projectors. And I bow to our, journey of coming and making, weeding out the noise of what life or family or society kind of wants us to look like, and breaking that mold to do what makes sense for us. It's exciting.
Yes. And I'll give a little shout out to my parents on this one as well, because they've always supported, and not everyone has this, but my uniqueness. And I remember, I think when we were in Australia like a month or two ago, Dad mentioned something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like, "No, Charlie, I know you're very, very unique, and you do you, and you just keep doing you." And there's that support to just keep taking off the layers and discovering who I am and what is my essence that comes through, and who you are, Sarah, and what is your essence that comes through. And then who's the third entity that we create together as we dance and our essences come together and create something far beyond 1+1, when two whole humans are coming together, and we're still learning that. And I think that's important in all relationships, a continual learning. And then to discover your essence, well, a big part of that is being a projector. And human design is that, and astrology and how the stars actually move. And I remember many years ago, people would talk about astrology or the zodiac, and this was maybe 10 years ago or something. And, you just see it in the newspaper, and it would be like, oh, the luck of the day is like, if you're a Cancer. And I'd be like, this thing is a joke. Like, this is the worst thing. Like, they're obviously not serious, are they? But when you go into the depths of what astrology is, like a mathematical, alchemical formula that the cosmos and the universe is literally created on, that is at the foundation, the zodiac signs, and within human design, the centers and the gates. This equation coming together when you take your first breath is profound, and it gives you that access point into who you are uniquely. So to have that, I would often say, God never gave us a life manual, unfortunately. Like, everyone's trying to just figure it out. No one really knows what's going on. Like, everyone's trying their best. People have different levels of access into awareness and consciousness. Yet I've realized over time, astrology and human design does give us a bit of a life manual, a bit of an access point, because it lets you know who you uniquely are, and your energy and your decision making and your emotions and your mind and how you interact with people. And it's fascinating. And then when you lay that on with some transits about what you're going through currently, it's inspiring, and it brings a lot of acceptance and awareness into one's journey, I find. So I'm not sure if you found that, Sarah, when you found out that you're a projector, or as you've gone deeper into human design or some astrological transits or these things.
Well, I want to answer what you said, but I also want to say, for those who are listening, and I will shout out my family too, but I had a different journey with my family in following my unique path, and the twists and turns of my journey it was met with a lot of question marks, perhaps, and a lot of confusion. And even when you and I started dating, there was question and the unconventional ways and we were living. And over time, as I stayed true to myself, which was the first time in my life that I really wasn't caving into the pressures of my family, did the truth of my walk begin to manifest. And then now I'm at a space where my family is in full-fledged support of the choices in the life I've made. And I will circle back and say that when I found out I was a projector and when I've got my first astrology reading, they were such pivotal affirmations to the path I was actually already starting to walk, and this truth of that I'm here to do something different, or there's something very unique about me that I can't find under the Western medicine or Western psychology, but I knew my soul was different. And after hugely, finding out I was a projector, I was like, oh my God, like this is filling in so many pieces. And then truthfully, Charlie, like your love of astrology and your understanding of the astrological transits and different timings of my life, asking me, like, what happened when you were this age? Because like that's something in your chart really spoke to that. There was more pieces of the puzzle of affirmation that like there's something simultaneously happening while my human is journeying on this path of life. And there's things that are deeply impacting us that we don't see, that you can trace through the stars, that we've, collectively as a culture back to the Egyptian times and beyond. That's really the way in which they oriented themselves in the world, was in the connection to astrology. So yeah, absolutely. And, specifically, I know both you and your chart and my chart astrologically are not for the faint of heart in terms of transformational transits, which filled in the gaps that I wasn't being punished in this lifetime, truthfully, like that the hardships and the challenges and the journey I've on made sense based on where I incarnated in the sky, from the sky.
Yeah, you might have, if you knew about this, you might have stayed in your mum's womb for another hour or two. No, I'm joking.
No, I said this to myself. I said this actually to my best friend, Kristen, who's a projector. And I was just joking, like, apparently, we agreed to this lifetime before we come into a human body. And I've really wanted to talk to that person who
go straight to God. Go straight to God and question God. See how that goes for
you. You said yes. I say that truthfully at times, but I also say that jokingly as well.
Yeah. On that, I think the challenging transits and the ones that break us down, like what is breaking down is the ego, is that part of us that thinks that we're separate from God. And that's the painful part. So I also feel it's a great, it's not at the time the feeling wise, but it's a great honor to be put to those tests by a higher power, to be broken down in a way to realize that you are one, and to take away that separateness. And yeah, some of those Pluto transits, Pluto's death and rebirth, and it will just break down what we think is true. And the key is what we think, and that's the mind. And so it just breaks those constructs down in really painful ways, in the exact right way. That's like, just don't do it like that. And it's like, no, we're doing it in that way. But when you move through it, and I'm sure it's the same for you, you can look back and go, wow, I wouldn't be the person without going through some of those things at all. So
I'm interested because I know while we were gone, we really got inspired about what we want to continue to bring and expand within the projector movement. And I know astrology, what we've been talking about, is something that has become more palpable in your world as a purpose, as a mission, as a study. And as you and I are kind of coming back in online with the projector movement at this time, do you want to share a little bit about that passion and how you feel that is going to unfold itself within the projector movement?
Yeah, I think let's wrap this one up here, and then we'll start another one.
Okay.
And,
okay.
just respecting everyone's time and ability to digest and bandwidth. And yeah, I would love to share. So we'll do the next one on some of the things that are coming into the projector movement, and one of them being astrology.
Perfect.
And ultimately how projectors can understand themselves and empower themselves and embody their alignment to become the future guides of the world, which we're here to do. And unfortunately, most of us haven't really tapped into that because we've been just pushed and pulled and stretched and run over a million times in a world that's a generator world that was built from manifestor initiations. And now the projectors are here to do it in a different way. So we're finding our feet, and all the way up until 2027, projectors will be called forth more and more. And the world will look more like a projector-friendly world. So the more that we can individually embody that, the more that will be called forth by a higher energy to, or invited forth to guide those around us. So, yeah.
And look out for the next call, because as you can tell, I'm dying to share the inspirations that we want to share with you, so that in 2027, as Charlie said, that we are aligned for the energies that are coming. We have our own inner alignment to do, and this is the perfect time to begin to continue and to walk towards that.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
We're excited to be back.
Okay. See you, everyone.